One of the most important pieces of work that I do is called body liberation stock. I founded this line of work in 2017, and I did it because I got annoyed. Getty Images had produced a collection of stock photos. Stock photos are the images that people use in their marketing and branding because unless you're Microsoft or Coca-Cola, you can't afford to hire a photographer every time you need a photo for a blog post or for an Instagram post. And so you buy stock photos. And these photos tend to only feature people who look like models because stock photographers hire models to be the people in these photos. So if you see a doctor or a banker or, I don't know, an artist or a bank customer who looks suspiciously like a 22-year-old model, that's because they're a model. So Getty Images have put out this collection of body positive, inclusive stock photos back in 2017. And when I looked at them, they weren't actually inclusive. They weren't, you know, the people in them were a little larger than what we think of as the standard size for models. But they didn't in any way represent people in actually large bodies or the vast variety of human body shapes and sizes that we see around us every day. And at the time I had been doing my photography business for a couple of years, and I said, you know what? The world needs a resource, a real resource for truly body positive and liberation invested and ethically produced and inclusive stock images. And I started Body Liberation Stock, and primarily it exists to provide stock photos of people in large and very large bodies, fat and very fat people. And in addition, we have been able to include some wonderful photos of people of color and LGBTQ plus folks and disabled folks. And of course, all these communities overlap too, you know, so some of these folks have multiple underrepresented identities. These are not completely separate populations, but it's already making such a difference in the world because people who want to represent their actual customers, people who want to represent the people who actually come to their businesses, are able to do that and not only represent one very narrow type of acceptable body. And so right now I have 6 or 7 contributors, and that's rapidly growing. And it's really important for me to encourage and enable contributors to Body Liberation Stock because I'm one person, I'm white, I live in a pretty white area, I have one lens, pun not intended, I have one viewpoint on the world, I have one geographic area that I'm mostly limited to, I have one perspective, and it is so important that other marginalized people are also able to get their work out, other marginalized stock photographers and illustrators and artists. So it's not just photos, it's also illustrations and drawings and icons. And so right now we have over 5,000 images, and these are not free. This is not Unsplash. This is not a free stock photo site. Because it is also really important and part of my ethical framework for people, including me, to be paid a living wage for their work, because I also need to eat. So the photos are as accessibly priced financially as I could make it. That was part of the design of the site. But they are not free because all the marginalized people who are producing these images deserve a living wage for their work. In addition, all of my models are offered either a living hourly wage, or they can choose to get their compensation in photos. But that helps sort of build ethically from the ground up to have everybody involved be compensated for their work fairly. So you can find all of the images at bodyliberationstock.com. You can also sign up for my Patreon to get free image credits every month. That's at patreon.com/bodyliberation. Either way, there are subscriptions available. You can buy credit bundles so that it's even more financially accessible for small business owners because the more credits you buy at once, or if you get a subscription where you're getting credits every month, that it is less and less expensive the more you are investing and using the photos. So that is Body Liberation Stock. Please share it with your marketing departments. That's really helpful. Please share it with your small business owner friends, with your business groups and communities, because the more support that we have, the more we can change the world together.